It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, City 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. My name is Eno Safwa, and this afternoon I'm here with
Caleb Kuda.
Coming up, James Jachi Quayson officially sworn in as Member of Parliament for Asin North.
I, James Jachi Quayson, do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
Meanwhile, court adjourns its case to July 6 to allow for the swearing-in ceremony. Also coming up, Office of the Special Prosecutor concludes investigations into 150 cases, including former Minister of State at the Presidency, Charles Bissu. Still ahead in the bulletin, the New Patriotic Party continues vetting of presidential aspirants seeking to lead the party into the 2024 general elections. And later, stakeholders in the business community urge government to introduce tax relief measures during the upcoming mid-year budget review.
The taxes have been so many, and then the rates are also very high. And that's why we are still calling that most of these taxes will be looked into.
All that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is live on our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're live on Adrinkpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we're live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, Adrinkpa 99.9 FM in Inkarie. In the Volta region, we're live on Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi. Freedom 88.1 FM in Sogakope. If you're in the Northern region, you're listening to us live on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East, we're live on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Northeast region, Nobia 98.1 FM in Nalerugu. The news, as I said, is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, City 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for joining us. Now, the re-elected Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Jachi Quayson, has been sworn into office by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. My colleague Ni Ayikwe Okan is on the line, and he joins us to tell us more about this particular swearing-in ceremony. Ni Ayikwe, many thanks for joining us. Tell us about the swearing-in ceremony. Earlier, you had mentioned that the majority side had left the House. Were they present for the swearing-in?
Well, so this morning, swearing in of the re-elected Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Jachi Quayson, took place. And we noticed that the minority members of Parliament were very much present in the chamber to participate in the exercise. They were clad in red apparel to partake in the exercise. But earlier, most of the majority MPs, in fact, almost all of them, except the majority chief whip, Sankano Dompe, was available in the chamber. But as and when the time was drawing closer for the exercise to begin, we saw a number of them coming in to partake in the exercise. We had the leadership of the majority side heavily present to partake in the exercise, as well as some of the MPs partaking in the exercise. We also saw the former president, John Dramani Mahama, the leadership of the NDC, that's the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the general secretary, Sisi Abikwete, and then Sami Jemfi, together with other leaders of the NDC available in the chamber to partake in the exercise. We also saw some NDC sympathizers in the public gallery to partake in this exercise.
All right. We hear a bit of noise behind you. Tell us what is going on.
So, as it stands now, the swearing in has been concluded. Speaker has adjourned sessions for about 30 minutes. So, we've had the members who were present to support James Jachi Quayson, and especially the traditional leaders and the party sympathizers, moved out. They've now moved out to the forecourt of the Parliament House. We've seen some actors and actresses also available, Bollywood actors and actresses. So they are outside currently, uh, so jubilating over the swearing in of the Member of Parliament for us in North, James Jatukwese. So you can hear in the background the excitement, the songs. They are singing some of the revolutionary songs of the MPC, and then there's a jubilation all over the place at the moment.
All right, aside the swearing in, what else is on the order paper for today?
We are expecting that the anti-gay bill, which is the promotion of proper sexual human rights and Ghanaian families bill, would likely be considered. If not today, this week, we are expecting that that particular bill would be considered, because last week it was supposed to have taken place. The second reading of that particular bill, which is the debate, was supposed to take place. But as we were made aware by the majority leader, the leadership of the constitutional leader, legal and parliamentary affairs committee, that's Kwame Nkrumah and then Bernard Nyako, were not available. So the second reading of the bill could not be taken. But he made it clear that they were going to be present this week, and they were going to ensure that that bill is considered. It's part of the order paper for today, but we are not too certain if that could be taken either today or within the week. Aside that, there are other bills that are at various stages of consideration. We are also expecting the finance minister, Ken Oforiatta, to be present in the House to answer some questions regarding issues surrounding the country.
Many thanks for the updates. Let's listen to the swearing in of James Jatukwese.
I, James Jatukwese, do in the name of the Almighty God swear. Do in the name of the Almighty God swear. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Republic of Ghana. To the Republic of Ghana. As by law established. As the law established. That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana. That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana. And that I will preserve. And that I will preserve. Protect. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And defend the Constitution and the Republic of Ghana. So help me God. So help me God. We now take the oath of a member of Parliament. I, James Jatukwese, having been elected a member of Parliament, do in the name of the Almighty God swear. Do in the name of the Almighty God swear. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Republic of Ghana. To the Republic of Ghana. As by law established. As by law established. That I will uphold. That I will uphold. Preserve. Protect. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a member of Parliament. So help me God.
You heard the Speaker of Parliament swearing in Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Jatukwese. Well, after the swearing in of the MP, the Minority Leader, Dr. Kaysalatu Forson, stated that the caucus would not partake in parliamentary proceedings whenever the criminal charges against Jatukwese would be heard in court.
Sadly, on the 6th of January 2021, every effort has been made by proxies of government to prevent Mr. Kwesi from representing his people, including injuncting him from functioning as a member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, and this lasted for almost 14 months until the Supreme Court finally made their pronouncement. Right, Honorable Speaker, when these machinations by proxies of government failed to break the resolve of Mr. Kwesi, the government then took up the challenge frontally and instituted a criminal charge against him, with the Attorney General virtually urging the High Court to hear the matter on a daily basis, all to prevent Mr. Kwesi from campaigning for re-election. Mr. Speaker, the President even went further by calling on voters of Asin North not to vote for Mr. Kwesi because he was jail-bound. Mr. Speaker, the President was certain and categorical when he said, don't vote for someone who will end up in jail. Right, Honorable Speaker, this singular categorical statement from His Excellency the President is not only prejudicial, Mr. Speaker, it's a threat to fair trial and justice, and therefore undermines the judicial system, which is indeed the anchor of our democracy. Right, Honorable Speaker, all these machinations did not deter nor weaken Mr. Kwesi's resolve. Indeed, he continued to serve his people and believed in his vision. Mr. Speaker, it was therefore not surprising that the good people of Asin North reaffirmed their confidence in him at the just ended election on the 27th of June 2023. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us as politicians, and rightly so, the political class, to have a rethink about the worsening monetization of our elections and its negative impact on our democracy. Right, Honorable Speaker, I must commend our colleague, Mr. Kwesi, for his courage and resilient spirit. He has prevailed in the face of persecution. I am aware that today he is due to appear in court.
You heard Minority Leader Dr. Kaisel Ato-Forson. The Majority Leader, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, denied assertions that the criminal charges and legal proceedings against the Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Gyakye Quayson, amounted to selective justice.
Nobody from a true conscience can say that this is persecution or selective justice. Let us respect the Constitution that all of us are sworn to uphold. Selectivity would be when you elect to apply in piecemeal the entirety of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, so people should understand and appreciate the import of this Constitution. And when it comes to be applied, it is not selective justice. Mr. Speaker, examples are born in this house. We witnessed the appearance and disappearance of the Honorable Samuel Nyimaka. Article 97 was applied. He appeared and had to disappear. The Honorable Adamu Secondary. He appeared and disappeared. Article 97 came to be applied. So, Mr. Speaker, when you have people talking about selective justice, you wonder where they are coming from. We have decided, indeed, committed ourselves to uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic.
Majority Leader Oseche Mensah Bonsu there. Meanwhile, a former Attorney General, Ni Ayikweotu, says government should consider filing a nolle prosequi to discontinue the case against the Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Gyakye Quayson.
It's a matter of negotiation. But if we want to win elections in Asin North next time, and we go on with this trial, and then we convict him, in the likely event that we convict him, and then he gets out again, we're going to go through another by-election, this time not with him. Now, what would the people of Asin North thinking of the MPP as a party? Would they be ever comfortable voting us into power, or would they decide that would never forgive us anymore? This is what we should be looking at, because we need the numbers, yes. We need the numbers. So I think you cannot claim that you are independent on your own, you are taking an administrative decision, and so you decided to enter a nolle prosequi without reference to your party. I don't think it is politically wise to do so, because at the end of the day, if you give an advice which is not bought into, the best thing for you to do is to tender in your resignation. And this is Africa. How many people tender in their resignation? They would rather continue to be there with all the difficulties they're going to have. So, as a politician, I would not say that there's anything administrative in this matter. There's so much at stake because we need that one seat if we can get it, and so you have to take that into consideration. That may be driving those who think that we should go all out, But the point is, what are the chances of annexing that seat when the people have shown their revulsion at, if you like, what is happening to their MP, that we are depriving the MP of serving them? So it will be a good thing to enter a no-lie procedure and stop all this to show some more maturity. But you cannot, as an attorney general, do it on your own. You are not independent. You are part of a whole. And remember that you are bound by a cabinet decision, cabinet secrecy. Even if you disagreed with the decision as of the time it was being taken, once it has been taken, you are bound. You cannot go out to say that, oh, I didn't support it. You are bound to support it. So if you ask me, what I would tell you is that there's a need for some negotiations, a broader negotiations, consultation on the matter for the future of the MPP going to contest elections in Asin North.
Ni Ayikwe Otu is a former attorney general. Let's go over the phone lines on this particular court issue and speak to our court correspondent, Hansen Ajaman, because the criminal trial of the Asin North Member of Parliament, James Jache Quayson, has been adjourned to Thursday, July 6, due to his swearing in. Hansen, tell us what happened in court for the adjournment.
Well, so when we came to court today, we witnessed lawyers of Citi Prime holding a document, and from the face value of the document, as we could see, indicated that a letter had been written to the court from Parliament. But at that point, we didn't know what exactly was the content of that particular letter. And so when proceedings began, then the trial judge indicated that she has received a letter notifying the court of the swearing in of James Jache Quayson. Now, based on that, lawyer for James Jache Quayson, in the person of Chachichi Kata, then moved and prayed the court to adjourn the case the later date to allow him undergo the vetting as the court has been informed. Now, he indicated that this, of course, is a national assignment and merits an adjournment from the court. Prosecution did not disagree with this. The prosecution, led by Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General, agreed that indeed the swearing in was a national assignment, and as a result, it should be adjourned. The brief point of disagreement had to do with when it should be adjourned to. Attorney General's office was looking at an adjournment to Wednesday. However, lawyers of Chachichi Kata indicated that they have some processes to follow at the Supreme Court, as far as the civil case at the Supreme Court is concerned. And so an adjournment to Thursday would rather be appropriate. And so the court, after considering the arguments and pleas of the lawyers of Chachichi Kata, obliged to adjourn the case to Thursday, 6th July. Now, mind you, the parties were expected to argue out their case today on an application for a stay of proceedings. Now, this stay of proceedings was applied following an application to the Court of Appeal to overturn the decision of the High Court to hear the case on daily basis. And so, with the adjournment is Thursday, the expectation is that on Thursday, when James Jache Quayson makes his way to the courtroom, the lawyers will have their day in court to argue why there should be a stay of execution, there should be a stay of proceedings, or there shouldn't be a stay of proceedings.
All right, Hansen, were the legal team of the NDC satisfied with the outcome of court today?
Essentially, they were satisfied, and they were also happy to the point that for the first time, they have some form of agreement with the Attorney General on the national assignment that is being carried out by the Member of Parliament for Asin North, James Jackie Creason. Now, we questioned the legal team and directly the head of the NDC's legal team, Abraham Amaliba, on the recent conversation that has been ignited by comments by the Domain of Bedu II, indicating that the state should enter in all prosecutor into this particular case. He indicated that it's a call in the right direction. They believe that the prosecution in no way will inure any benefit to Ghana and only a waste of state resources. And so, if nominate person like the the Domahene is calling for in the trial to discontinue and having gotten some form of support from a senior member of the governing New Patriotic Party, it is only right that the Attorney General will heed to the advice to enter a nolle prosequi into the matter. We also queried him on whether this would be a practice in this trial where we'll be seeing letters from the office of Parliament or the office of the Speaker to, in a way, get an excuse from the court for the Asin North Member of Parliament not to come for his trial. But his lawyers indicated that they don't anticipate that and they would only issue acts for such letters if it becomes necessary. And so we spoke to Abraham Maliba after proceedings in court today.
Let's take a listen to that instead.
So the Parliament sent a letter to the court saying that Kwesi, the MP-elect, is being sworn in today. And as you know, one person cannot be at two places at the same time. The letter was brought in so that he could be excused from attending court today. The letter was served on the Attorney General, served on the court, and lawyers from both sides, Attorney General and Kwesi's lawyers, all agreed that once he's undertaking a national assignment, it is important that the court adjourns to allow him, as it were, go on with the swearing in. So today, the court agreed to adjourn the matter to the 6th of July, when Kwesi, 10 a.m., when Kwesi himself will be in court.
Now we have seen this particular letter. Going forward, are you going to see more of such letters, especially when both parties agree that this time around he's performing a national assignment?
No, it is as and when the need arises, but we cannot be saying that we'll be sending letters to the court.
But the prosecution agreed that this is a national assignment. Essentially, he'll be playing his role as a member of parliament, which by extension is a national assignment. Going to Thursday, what is the expectation of your side, considering the stay of execution?
So we are going to argue the motion out. Don't forget that today would have been the arguments, but this has been adjourned to the 6th. We intend to put in a strong case. We are not afraid of the trial. What we don't want is for the state to use its might to re-rule the process so that our client will go to jail.
You heard the head of legal affairs of the NDC, Abraham Amaliban. Earlier, you heard me speak to court correspondent Hansen Ajiman. Well, the former chairman of the NPP, Peter McMenu, he was also in court and he has debunked claims that the ongoing prosecution is partly to account for the NPP's loss in Asin North. He revealed that the party is undertaking a review to account for the party's loss.
Well, we are doing a review of the elections, and you know, I have never seen an election in which you can pinpoint to one item which led to a defeat. There are multiplicity of functions and actions during an election. And mind you, one can even lose an election on the D-Day. The polls will favor you throughout, but on the D-Day, some lapses may occur and it can lead to it. So I will not buy into what you are saying. But we are doing a review anyway. So the outcome of the review, And I cannot stand here and prejudice the outcome of the review, which will lead us into correcting whatever mistakes we may have committed. I am not attributing the defeat to the trial of Jackie Quayson. I have told you that there are multiplicity of actions and inactions which may have led to the defeat. We will review and examine it. But I can say that Ayikwe Otu didn't say that. He has been an attorney general before, and I don't expect him to say that.
You heard the former chairman of the NPP, Peter McMenu. Caleb?
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfrey Adame, has cautioned individuals who make comments on high-profile criminal cases in the country to refrain from such acts. According to Mr. Adame, such commentary exceeds the permissible limits of free speech and duly interferes with the work of state prosecutors and adds unnecessary pressure to the court's work. Here are excerpts of a statement from the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, unread by Citi News' Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
The cases which have been the subject of unwarranted public commentary include, but are not limited to, Republic versus James Gyakye Quayson, Republic versus Dr. Stephen Opuni and 2 others, and Republic versus Kesel Atuforsen and 2 others. Whilst respecting the freedom of all persons in Ghana to comment on any matter, including cases pending in court, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice takes note that much of the recent commentary on many of the so-called high-profile criminal cases transgresses permissible limits of free speech, unduly interferes with the work of state prosecutors performing their constitutional function of prosecuting crime in Ghana, and tends to put unnecessary pressure on the court. The Attorney General respectively reminds Ghanaians of the principle of the equality of all persons before the law, enshrined in Article 17, Clause 1 of the Constitution. No person living in Ghana, citizen or non-citizen, is above the laws of Ghana or immune from an application of same. The Attorney General's constitutional responsibility for initiation and conduct of all prosecutions of criminal offences implies a duty to prosecute a crime committed in Ghana after proper investigations have been conducted, irrespective of the political, race, colour, ethnic, religion, economic or social status of the culprit. State attorneys assisting the Attorney General in the performance of this hallowed constitutional mandate operate under extreme pressure and are exposed to severe risks. They have the right to prosecute cases freely in the court of law, just as private legal practitioners enjoy a right to defend their client, free from abuse and attacks on their character. The Attorney General finally cautions that no immunity is conferred by a person's position in Parliament, the judiciary, traditional authority, the bar, or any official position from the consequences of an interference in the administration of justice or an attempt to overreach a judgment to be delivered by the court in any matter. We must respect due process.
Those were excerpts of a statement from the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice cautioning individuals to refrain from making comments on high-profile cases currently before the country's courts. It was read by my colleague Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News, live on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, the New Patriotic Party continues vetting of presidential aspirants seeking to lead the party into the 2024 general elections. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the second day of vetting for flag bearer hopefuls for the New Patriotic Party has begun with former Energy Minister Boakye Ejiakor. My colleague Charles Osukumi joins me on the line with more on this. Charles, tell us what is happening at the vetting today.
Well, currently the former General Secretary of the party, Kwabena Japan, is facing the vetting committee. You are right, Boakye Ejiakor started today's activity. He's done with his. The vetting lasted for just under 2 hours. After the process, he refused to speak to us because, according to him, the committee is not happy about some of the things some of the aspirants said in their interviews after their vetting yesterday. Remember yesterday, former Deputy Minister for Trades and Industry, Alan Chemating, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and Kojo Poku, they went through vetting yesterday. We're told that the committee was not happy with some of the things some of the aspirants said in their interviews. So they are not granting any interviews today. At least that's what Boache Jaco's campaign coordinator, Michael Mackenzie, that's what he told us. So he is left. Kwame Japong is currently facing the committee. When Kwame Japong is done, we're told that at about 2 o'clock today, the MP for Asin Central, the Honorable Kwame Japong, he will take a stand at the committee. And then 3 more will also be here tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the Honorable Dr. Usofi Yakoto, the former Minister for Agric, the MP for Etikado Ketan, the Honorable Jogate, and Dr. Kofi Kunadu Apreku showing up tomorrow for their vetting. And then on Thursday, which is the last day of vetting, the former MP for Mampong, Francis Adenimo, he will take a stand at the vetting committee. And then on Monday, July 10, we're expecting that the vetting committee will release a report on their activities. If the committee passes all 10 of them, we're told that in August there will be a special delegates conference to whittle down the number to 5. Then there will be that subsequent national delegates conference, which will happen in November to select the flag bearer for the NPP for the 2024 general election.
All right, Charles Osukumi is my colleague at the NPP vetting of flag bearer hopefuls for the presidential aspirants. Many thanks, Charles, for that update. Caleb has some more stories.
Yes, I do. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has concluded investigations into a case involving former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edubuahing. President Akufo-Addo terminated the appointment of Mr. Edubuahing after an investigative documentary by Tiger IPI leveled allegations of corruption against him. Mr. Edubuahing is alleged to have asked an investor to pay an appearance fee of $200,000 to set up a meeting between him and the vice president. The president then referred the matter to the OSP for investigations to be conducted. The OSP, in its 2023 half-yearly report released today, indicated that further action on the matter would be taken in due course. Here are excerpts of the report.
The office has concluded investigation into a referral by the President of the Republic in respect of suspected corruption and corruption-related offences regarding Charles Edubuahing, a former Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. The corruption allegations are contained in an investigative documentary titled Galamsey Economy, published by Tiger IPI and the investigative journalist Anas Arimeyao Anas. The special prosecutor will issue directives and further action on the matter in due course. On the issue of attempt to bribe members of parliament by a wealthy businessman, the office has concluded investigations into allegations of an attempt by an unnamed and wealthy businessman to bribe some members of the majority caucus of parliament. The special prosecutor will issue directives and further action on the matter in due course. The office expresses its gratitude to the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament and his staff for their cooperation and assistance during the investigation. On the matter involving former presidential staffer Charles Bisu, the OSP indicated that its office has concluded investigations into the allegations of the use of public office for profit against Mr. Charles Bisu during his tenure as Secretary to the erstwhile Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, arising from an investigative documentary titled Galamsey Fraud, Part 1, published by Tiger IPI and investigative journalist Anas Arimeyao Anas. This investigation is a subset of a wider investigation on illegal mining and the activities and operations of the IMCIM. The special prosecutor will issue directives and further action on the matter in due course.
You had excerpts of the 2023 half-yearly report from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, read to you by my colleague Zoe Abubaidurado.
Now, members of the National Food Suppliers Association are currently at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company to demand monies owed them. The association says the picketing is due to the government's failure to settle arrears that go back over 2 years. An initial threat to picket on June 13 was suspended after assurances from the Buffer Stock Company. However, after the expiration of a 2-week ultimatum, the suppliers say they are yet to receive their money from government. The spokesperson for the National Food Suppliers Association, Kweku Amedume, tells Citi News that they will not relent on their efforts to receive what is due them.
We've supplied foodstuffs to buffer stock for over 2 years. We've not been paid, running to 270 million. We've done everything possible to ensure government pays this money, but government has been adamant. Government or buffer stock has been insensitive to the plight of the suppliers, and that's why we are gathered here. We're picketing till we get our money. Bro, it's not been easy. It's so frustrating. 2001, when we supplied, the prices of foodstuffs in the market were very low. Now, prices have increased drastically. So if those monies are paid to us now, the value of those monies has come down. And that's why we're picketing. Government has been failing. If you remember the last time, we had a press conference where we said we were going to picket. On the before the 13th of the planned picketing, there were interventions that, with a promise that they were going to pay us in the next 2 weeks. That has not been fulfilled.
Are you saying you've not even been paid a penny?
We've not been paid. The Ministry of Education, the Minister of Education, we met with him and he told us that he has paid 90% of our money, which represented 6 of the badges, which represented 13 of our badges. But we ended up receiving only 6 badges. So where's the remaining of the money?
Spokesperson for the National Food Suppliers Association, Kweku Amedume.
Stakeholders in the business community are urging the government to introduce tax relief measures during the upcoming mid-year budget review. According to Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is required by law to present the mid-year budget review to Parliament. The business community is emphasizing the need for the government to address taxation issues and create a conducive environment for businesses to thrive.
The mid-year budget review follows the receipt of the first tranche of $600 from the $3 billion IMF bailout package aimed at revitalizing the Ghanaian economy. However, the implementation of the package has had certain consequences for its citizens. Several months ago, Parliament passed 3 new tax laws, including the Excise Duty Amendment Bill and the Growth and Sustainability Levy Bill, with the intention of generating more domestic revenue. Unfortunately, these new taxes have posed challenges for the business community. The Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, representing businesses in Ghana, is particularly concerned about the current taxation system and its impact.
The taxes have been so many, and then the rates are also very high. And that's why we are still calling that most of these taxes will be looked into. If even we have to reduce some of the tax rates, we've done something. That's why we are calling for mitigating measures that will cushion the plight of businesses. Now there's no COVID, and the president have mentioned that, and that we don't need it on the table. Once COVID is out of the table now, it has become a new norm, and we are charging for what? It was a one-purpose tax that was to support the fight of the COVID. Now that COVID is no more, as WHO have said, I think it's still putting unnecessary burden on businesses. This special import levy, which has also been a nuisance tax. It was introduced so many years during the previous administration, and they said that after the sunset, that's after that particular problem have been off, they will take it off the table, and it's still there.
The Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana shares similar concerns, fearing that these taxation policies may lead to the closure of many businesses.
I have no confidence in this government. I have lost trust in this government. Likewise, my other colleagues, even to the extent that the freedom and the enjoyment that this government enjoy from the business community, especially my friends from Gupta. Today, if you go and ask them, they are running to hide their heads because most of these government policies were supported and endorsed by Gupta. And today, they are worried because their members are crying in the market there. If you go to the market there, everybody's crying. So if you ask me to come in media budget review, I'll tell you I have no, I don't expect anything. It's hopeless. There's nothing that will restore confidence in the business community. If you ask them, they will tell you, oh, but there has been some stability in the city. Yes, if there has been some stability in the city, what about the interest rate? What about the inflation?
Meanwhile, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry suggests that the government should focus on broadening the tax base rather than imposing taxes on a few individuals.
Let us find a more innovative way. I think recently when GIA introduced the electronic tax system, you realize that revenue went up. How do we increase revenue without necessarily burdening the private sector and businesses? Look, to increase your tax revenue, it's not about introducing new taxes or increasing the rate of existing taxes. It's about how efficient you are. Now we have gotten to a level where businesses are already at the peak. They are stressed out. So if you are introducing a new tax, you are in a way killing all the businesses. Let us be efficient in the collection of taxes. It's been proven that the more you increase the tax rate, the less your tax revenue. And there is a theory that has been developed and is there for all of us to see. Let us look at how we can, at this level, bring in a lot of people to come and pay the taxes.
Currently, business operators in Ghana face similar direct and indirect taxes on their trades.
From all indications, it is obvious that the business community here in Ghana is hoping for some sort of respite or relief from government when the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, heads to Parliament to present the media budget come Friday, July 27, 2023. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.
And here in the studios of 97.3 Citi FM, my name is Inu Safo with Caleb Kuda. Still ahead in the bulletin, Ghana Water Company Limited shuts down water treatment plant for maintenance. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
After inspiring you on the Voice Factory stage last week, our talented contestants will mount the stage to perform their renditions of your favorite pop songs this Saturday. From the catchy beats of chart-topping hits to the infectious melodies that get stuck in your head, we'll be bringing you a celebration of all things pop. Get ready to be blown away by their incredible vocals, energetic dance moves, and electrifying stage presence. Prepare to have some fun this week as we enjoy some pop music on The Voice Factory Season 5. Tune in to The Voice Factory Season 5 on Saturday, 8th July 2023 at 6:30 p.m. and follow the prompts to vote for your favorite contestants via the short code *920 *973#. You can also visit citytvonline.com/Voice Factory to vote. The Voice Factory Season 5 is brought to you by Ebony Condoms, refreshed by Eddie's Pizza, official voting partner Nalo Solutions, refreshed by McBerry Twist Cupcakes, and sponsored by Copen Hospitality. The Voice Factory is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM, Alisa Hotels, Linash Beauty Parlor, and Makeup Ghana.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. The Ghana Water Company Limited has announced the temporary shutdown of 2 of their treatment plants at the Waja Headworks. The exercise is expected to take 16 hours, according to the company. The areas to be affected include Kaswa, Waja, Nenyano, Tuba, Tetegu, McCarthy Hill, Botiano, and surrounding areas. The company's management has assured residents of the affected areas and the general public that water supply will resume as soon as the work is completed. The regional communications manager for Accra West, Solis Akomia, spoke to City News.
It's an emergency repair work. You know, at the Waja treatment plant, we have 3 plants. 2 of them send water towards the Kaswa enclave. So Kaswa, Nyanyano, Otiano, and those areas. The pipeline that supplies water to that side of town is what is faulty. It has developed, there's a bust on it which must be repaired. So that's the reason for the shutdown. So the greater part of Accra, the western Accra, doesn't have a problem. It is the Kaswa side that is affected by this shutdown. And it's as we stated, the repair work started in the morning, and the plan is that by 6 p.m. would have been completed and supply would have been restored.
You heard the regional communications manager for Accra West, Solis Akomia.
Many young people from communities in Obuasi in the Ashanti region are demanding the release of abandoned concessions of Anglo-Gold Obuasi mines for community mining to end what they believe is growing youth unemployment in the area. The youth have accused the government of reneging on its promise to get the mining company to cede portions of its concessions to the indigents for mining. They have blamed years of wrangling between the youth and the mining company on the inability of authorities to streamline the activities of youth who are engaged in mining. They are petitioning the president and have vowed to pile pressure on authorities until they are given employment opportunities in the mining sector.
For there, it is an abandoned area. It is where we used to farm in the olden days. It's our farmland area. And then we have ourselves, we have digged a hole which we normally construct stones from. So it is not possibly the whole of AGA. But when you enter your hole, you can trespass there to AGA. So that's why you normally go there for a little bit of stones, and then so that we can take out our daily bread. So it's not meant for that we enter deeply to underground. For where we go, it is an abandoned area. So that's how we normally go. Okay, we are pleading to the government that when you go to Western region, this Takwa, Bogoso, and areas, the MCs, the DCs have collaborated with the government so that when the place is abandoned, they will give it to the community. So we are pleading that Kodor area, which we call Kodor West South and then area, for that land, we are pleading that he should exercise patience and then give us to the community so that we too can also find our daily bread for community mining. So if tax too will be taken, we are willing to pay. And any measures that they will put into us, we are willing.
Oh, yeah, they can't see a new one. They are near boy. You know, for no situation with you. By and so, any baby, I acquire human and quant dear. You know, for no near so munju or mama, because they do know. Say, I'm fearing Nancy for ma. Was I bako? Say, I bedina can't say, I near your phone be down. Am I no mubedin coma? I feel last one. A quiet on mention. Am I to a corso? Am I to do on a canipa me and one may see or my sebi. I left work a clap. Enye ska bia ye fa ne se ye ska ye yi bia de ba wo so de odi be hwehwe fie ene o ma mefo ama obi ansa akona no ne o yelefo de.
Those were some youth of Obuasi in the Ashanti region.
The chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, James Klucha-Veji, has expressed concern over the limited number of cars owned by the Control and Accountant General Department. During the committee hearing, the Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Kwening Bosumpim explained that the department had only 38 cars in operation and they were in the process of being insured. To address this issue, James Klucha-Veji stated that he would recommend to the Finance Ministry to allocate funds to purchase more cars for the office. Here are excerpts of the hearing.
That 50 official vehicles of Controller and Accountant General has no insurance. And the recommendation is that the office should take steps to insure the vehicles. Have you insured all the 50 vehicles as recommended?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Currently, we have 49 vehicles in our books, out of which 30 has been insured. 8 are in the process of being insured, and 11 are overaged, and therefore we've decided to grant them and then put in process to dispose them.
So, Controller, does it mean that your office, is it the whole country that has 49 vehicles or only the headquarters?
Honorable Chair, the whole office as Controller and Accountant General has 49 vehicles.
I mean the headquarters or the entire country?
The entire country.
Hey, why?
We don't have much, but we have put in place process to get more vehicles.
You heard the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, James Klucha-Veji.
Education think tank Africa Education Watch has commended the initiative by the Commission of Technical and Vocational Education Training, CTVET, to serialize its Certificate 2 examination questions. EduWatch believes that although the implementation of the test serialization is laudable, it may not bring a drastic turnaround in the subject of examination leakages. Speaking to City News, the Senior Programs Officer at EduWatch, Divine highlighted the need for the Commission to intensify security and seal all loopholes regarding the distribution of examination questions.
What the serialization could do is to address what will be happening at the examination hall, and then at the supply side at the end of the question setters. It will reduce it, but not to the barest minimum, because at the end of the day, for me, if processes are not put in place to strengthen the security at the storehouse and even at the distribution end, it means that question can still leak at the end of the distribution point or from the supply point. So this is good, but it's not the magic bullet to address the entire issue of examination irregularities. I may never be able to put the extent to which or percentage rate on it, but I know to the high percentage at the examination room, it will go a long way to address it. But also at the end of the supply side, it will reduce it minimally, because before somebody will get exam questions from the supply side, it means that you may need to get different sets of the questions before you're able to give out to students, because if you have just one set, that one set may not be applied to somebody else in a different part of the country. So you need more set to be able to give out to students to be able to learn ahead of the examination. So yes, it can reduce at the supply side, but the extent will not be high until we are able to strengthen the question security at the end of the supply side, where questions will not be able to leak at all.
Divine Kpa is Senior Programs Officer of the education think tank Africa Education Watch.
The family of Asajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is thanking the government for the redevelopment of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. The park has seen a major facelift following a $3.5 million investment by the government. The Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park houses the remains of Ghana's first president and his wife, Fatia Nkrumah. Speaking at the commissioning of the park, the daughter of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Samia Nkrumah, revealed that the government, through President Akufo-Addo, consulted the family before the redevelopment.
I want to thank you for staying with us and giving your time and energy. I also want to thank the World Bank for helping us realize this. This is indeed a good cause to put your money in, because we are not only talking about material gain, revenue from tourism, from visitors who come and visit this magnificent place. And I tell you, this is one of the places where we get the highest number of visitors. So the material gain is one thing, but as Africans, this is a mecca for Pan-Africanism. This is a place where we draw inspiration and strength to carry forward and accomplish the unaccomplished mission and promise of our independence. For us, we gain spiritual strength from visiting this place because we know that ultimately the future of Africans is in unity. So this is a place of unity, of peace, of strength, and of pride and power for the Black Star. I know we have with us so many Africans of different parts of the world. They are part of this project, and I'm happy that they are here with us.
Daughter of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Samia Nkrumah. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo says the redeveloped Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park will attract some 1 million domestic and international tourists. Nana Akufo-Addo says government will continue to invest in the tourism sector to help revive the economy.
The Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, which attracted some 90,000 visitors annually before the renovation, is now expected to attract over 1 million tourists annually. I'm charging the Ministry of Arts, of Tourism, Arts and Culture and its agencies to devise effective marketing and promotional strategies to achieve the target of 1 million domestic and international tourist visitations to the park. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of measures to make Ghana the hub of tourism in West Africa, we're building museums and other tourist attractions in various parts of the country. The construction of a museum in Heroes Park for the Big Six, a memorial park in Cape Coast for the Aborigines, a memorial enclave in Tamale for the founders of the erstwhile Northern People's Party to symbolize their participation in the drive for national independence, and the completion of ongoing works at the Bonwe Museum and the Yaya Santua Museum, both in Ejiso, are in the offing.
President Akufo-Addo there.
Let's bring you some other stories now. And the Ghana's local currency, the cedi, has been classified among Africa's currencies with the worst spot returns. This is according to a Bloomberg report. On the World Currency Ranker, the cedi performance placed 17th, depreciating by 11.21% in the first half of 2023. There is more in this report.
According to Bloomberg, although the cedi lost about 11.21% to the US dollar in the first quarter of 2023, it is still classified among African currencies with worst spot returns. The cedi ended the first half of 2023 with a better performance recorded than the same period last year. Fitch Solutions has already predicted that the Ghana cedi will end 2023 at a rate of 12 cedis 40 pesos to $1, which is a significant improvement from the 38% depreciation recorded in 2021. Despite short-term exchange rate volatility, the cedi is eventually expected to stabilize given Ghana's program with the International Monetary Fund.
Generally, so far in 2023, the cedi has been relatively stable compared to what we knew from 2022. Last week, it was relatively more stable on the interbank market, fairly stable on the retail market. I think it gained some pesos really and closed the week. But from now going, it will be more of that relative stability around the levels we see now. Those are the levels we could see it in the next few maybe days and weeks ahead of us.
And currently, the cedi is trading at about 11 cedis to $1, with analysts predicting that the value of the cedi will further shore up after Ghana received the first tranche of the $3 billion from the IMF. The Nigerian naira is the West African currency so far this year, according to Bloomberg. It has lost about 39% value to the US dollar.
Neela Telate filed that report.
And that's it for the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Inusafo and I was here with
Caleb Kuda.
For more news, do log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. Up next is the afternoon's edition of the City Business News with Na Shika Caesar.